Many of the cases that we cover for 48 hours are between people who know each other, husbands and wives, lovers and ex-lovers, sometimes even parents and children. But this week's case is different. Much like Truman Capote's In Cold Blood, this is a case of true good versus true evil. Tom and Jackie Hawks had a dream that they'd been nurturing for most of their adult life. They had hoped to sell their home, retire early, buy a boat, and sail the rest of their lives out on the open sea. And they did that for about 3 or 4 years. They went up and down the southern coast of California and throughout the Mexican Riviera. But along came the news that their oldest child was about to have their first grandchild. And that changed everything, particularly for Jackie. She had always wanted to have a grandchild. So the couple decided to sell their boat. They put an ad into a boating magazine, hoping that they could do it as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, and quite tragically, that is when evil walked right into their lives. What happened to Tom and Jackie is unthinkable, truly unimaginable. And the fact that the people who did it were able to carry off at least the murder part of it is also just as unimaginable. What really strikes me about this case is the polarity between the two sides. Tom and Jackie were two of the nicest, most generous and family-devoted individuals that you would ever be privileged to meet. Skylar DeLeon, on the other hand, who is the man who answered the ad to buy the boat, he was probably one of the better con men that we have ever dealt with in any of our stories here at 48 Hours Mystery. The Hawks were lovely and gracious people. Skylar and his wife wanted to take everything that the Hawks had. And I think one of the other aspects about this case that was also unusual, we deal with a lot of terrific cops and prosecutors. And I've seen cops cry before. I've even made a few cops cry before. But in this particular case, I don't think I've ever seen the level of devotion to a family. One particular veteran homicide detective was profoundly and deeply affected by what happened to the Hawks and to their surviving 2 sons. We hope that you watch this week. It's very different than what the stories we normally cover because of this true good versus true evil. But we think it's a very special case with very special people in it. Watch the show, log on afterwards online, and tell us what you think. It's called 48 Hours Mystery, Dark Voyage.